Hi, everybody. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about conditional statements or if statements. On a really basic level, what they are is they're a statement that allows your program to do something or not do something depending on whether or not a condition is met. So for instance, if I say if age is 18, then allow a person to vote. That means that if the age isn't 18, then the command that comes after it is ignored. So what does that look like? Well, let me show you. It's pretty simple. First of all, you can see here that I've got system.out.println for age, which is a global variable or a field that sits up here that I've defined as 0 right now. If I hit play and just run it, you can see that it prints out 0. Now let's say I only want to print out age. Age is greater than 0, right? So I type if age greater than 0, and then I wrap this command inside of curly braces, right? So now I've got if age is greater than 0, system.out.println age, right? So this command remains the same, and all that's changed is I've added this if around it. So if I hit play now, you'll see that nothing is output, right? Now let's say rather than saying it's only greater than 0, I can say greater than or equal to 0. That way 0 is included in my statement. Now that conditional is true rather than false. And now you can see that it sets 0 or it prints out 0. So what goes on is it evaluates this condition and it checks to see if it's true. If it's true, it does what you ask it to do, and if it's false, then it's just ignored. You can have multiple if statements inside of the same method, right? I could say if age is greater than 0, print out the age, and if age equals 0, then sys out age equals 0, right? So here, if this doesn't work, it's going to go down to the next thing, the next command. It's just going to ignore this. Okay, it's not greater than 0, and then it checks to see if this is true. This is true, so I'll actually print this out. Now you'll notice here that I had to put 2 equal signs. Just want to zoom in on it so you can see it. There are 2 equal signs there. When you are checking to see if a number is equal to 0, or a number is equal to something inside of a conditional, you use 2 equal signs, not 1. When you are trying to assign a value to a variable, as in age equals 0, what you're saying is I'm assigning the number 0 to this variable. Then you only use 1 equal sign. If that doesn't make sense to you, just know that anytime you have an if statement, you've got to have 2 equal signs. That's just the way it is. Okay. So we have age equals 0. Now, what happens if I say equals age is less than 0? Well, nothing happens, right? It ignores this one because this is not true, and then it ignores this condition because this is not true. So basically, we have nothing. Now, I can also say not equal. So if age is not equal, let's say 15, then sys out age is not 15, right? So it goes here and ignores this one. It goes here and ignores this one. It checks here. Yeah, age does not equal 15, so I'm going to print this out. Great. Now, let's say that you want to do one thing if this is true and another thing if it's not true. Well, rather than having a whole bunch of ifs to try to cover every condition, you can imagine that would be annoying. Instead, what you do is you use what's called an else statement, else. And you don't have a condition on the else. basically, if this is true, do this, and if it's not true, otherwise, then do whatever is inside of the else. So it sits out, age is not 0. Or sorry, age is not greater than 0. Number, this could be any number, right? It could be -1, it could be -5, whatever. It doesn't really matter. So long as this condition isn't met, this is going to run, which can be pretty useful, right? Now, one other thing is you can also have what's called an else if statement. And what that else if does is it says, okay, if it's not this, check to see if condition is met. So age is less than 0, right? Because, all right, does it meet this condition? No. Does it meet this condition? No. Okay, then just do this. Ouch. Age is not less than 0. And, oh, sorry, age is less than 0. So right now, it's still going to go to that else because age is 0, but if I make it -1, what you'll see is we've got age is less than 0 because it goes here and says, nope, that's not it. Then it goes here and says, yep, that's true now. So I'll print that out. And then it just ignores the else because this condition has been met. Let's see, what else can I tell you about conditionals? Well, you can also have multiple conditions inside of your conditional statement. So for instance, let's say I want the age to be between 0 and 10. Then what I do is I use ampersand. So, and age is less than or equal to 15, right? Now, this condition is met and this condition is met. Both of these things have to be true in order for this to run. So if I set age to 12, then what will happen is it will print out the age, right? But if I set it to 16, then it's going to print this else, which is no longer actually theoretically true, but you can still see that it's printing out the statement. So both of these things have to match. Now, you can also do an or, right? And the way you do an or is with the pipe, shift, the backspace, makes that up and down line. It's called a pipe. So you do, and then if either of these conditions is met, if either of these things are true, then it's going to print this out. Now, with this particular conditional statement, if age is greater than 0 or age is less than or equal to 15, that's every possible number, right? Because, well, actually, so think about it. If I type in like 16, 16 is greater than 0, even though it's not less than or equal to 15. It only has to match this one. So then that evaluates to true and it prints out. I'll show you. 16. And if I type in -16, well, okay, age is not greater than 0, but it is less than or equal to 15. So it's going to print out the age again. So you have to make sure that when you write your conditionals, it makes some kind of sense.